What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Sports. Here we're talking about the 49ers today. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. I made a podcast live video yesterday. Microphone wasn't working, did not know, no sound. So we're doing it again today. And this is good news because we actually have some more news to talk about with the 49ers. We have a lot of guys going out and not a lot of new signings coming in. Not very exciting. And a lot of people, I think, are on edge and worried. Is this Niner team going to be the same Niner team next year as they were last year? And the answer obviously is no. Let's go over the list of players that the Niners have actually lost in the last week. Now, or two, because I'm going to include Debo in this, right? So we had Debo Samuels, who's traded to the Commanders, and then we got other guys. Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Hufanga, Charvarius Ward, all signed with other teams, and they weren't the only ones. There are other players on the Niners that have gone away. Offensive lineman Aaron Banks, Jalen Moore are both gone. And we lost running back Elijah Mitchell, who I liked but was hurt a lot of the time. You also lost defensive lineman Javon Hargrave, the Gravedigger. But let's just take a look at all of these players. Oh, and I forgot one other player that we missed out on, who is going to be a big loss, I think, is Kyle Juszczyk. But that's the only one. If you think about the other players that I've named, guys, on or for face value, you would think that the Niners lost a lot of talent. But what you don't understand or aren't thinking about possibly is the fact that these players have either been hurt or been low production players for the last year or two. And it was kind of like, let's shed some dead weight a little bit, guys. And that's the only way I can say it. Some of these guys were not playing up to their expectations or not playing at all. Hargrave was out for was out for numerous games, but also, sorry, my son is here, but also when he did play, he didn't make a huge impact. Greenlaw was out for the majority of the last year. He came back in, had a huge impact, but got hurt almost right away. So he's gone. He would have been a great asset for the 49ers to keep had he stayed healthy, but he didn't stay healthy. So, we can sit here and say these are big losses, but at the end of the day, guys, these are players who never really lived, not never, but have not lived up to their expectations as of late. Every one of them, including Debo Samuels. He is a fan favorite here in San Francisco Bay Area, no doubt about it. I love the guy too, but you have to remember that he didn't come into camp in shape. He was not a very high production guy, and he really didn't have a fit on this team. Okay, so Debo Samuels was a plug and play guy this whole last year. And because we have our running back and our tight end and our wide receivers pretty much set, he really didn't have a starting spot anywhere on this team. So for right now, looking at the players that we actually lost, I'm looking at this and saying it's not as big of a deal as people might think. If we rip the Band-Aid off, it's great. Let's move on and see who we can get in this offseason. It's early, guys. The Niners are just ripping the Band-Aid off now. Now it's about who can we go out there and get. And let me tell you, with Joey Bosa, okay, Joey Bosa might come to the Niners. And if he does, you can look at this in two ways. One, he gets hurt a decent amount. But when he's healthy, he is getting 10, 11 sacks on the QB a year, which is not horrible. And if Nick can benefit from that, and the Bosa brothers can attack quarterbacks and wreak havoc this next year, it will be a lot of fun to watch. Now, keep this other thing in mind, guys. Keep this other thing in mind. The Niners have one of the easiest schedules in the league next year. So, what's the best time to retool and maybe rip the Band-Aid off and get rid of some players that either are not producing or are costing too much, to just get it out of the way? And I won't call it a rebuild because it's not that. But you need some fresh blood in here. It's a good time to do it because the Niners' schedule is favorable. I will not expect to see a huge drop-off from the 49ers. I think they can still make the playoffs considering all these things. But the main thing is who do they go out there and get? I've said for the last couple weeks now, we need a pass rusher. Joey Bosa fills that need as long as he's healthy. As long as he's healthy, he fits that need. So you go get Joey Bosa, which seems to me like it's almost like a guarantee. I won't call it a guarantee, but it seems like pretty much a guarantee that they need to go get. If they don't get him, then they're looking in the draft for a pass rusher. And now you are kicking the can down the field a little bit, a couple of years, because now you're trying to draft somebody who's going to make an impact. And most of the time, you're not going to get a pass rusher that's going to come in year one and make a huge impact. Sometimes it'll happen when you get like a Nick Bosa type, but Nick Bosa is not even living up to his capabilities, I would say, in the last year or two. So you need to go out there and get a proven pass rusher. Joey Bosa fits that. What better way to go into next season but to have the Bosa brothers both wreaking havoc on quarterbacks? It would be great. We have a little bit of a tough spot when it comes to wide receivers, right? So we got Purcell, who ended last year on a great note. And after that, we have Jennings, who is actually a great wide receiver who doesn't get his credit. Aside from that, we're kind of light in the wide receiver department now. So I would say it would have been nice if we had Debo this year, only if you would have come in his camp in shape. But if not, it wouldn't have mattered. But I will say right now, we're kind of light at the wide receiver position because of injuries. But nonetheless, we have a tight end, right? We got Kittle. We got Christian McCaffrey, who will be back. Anybody who thinks Christian McCaffrey is going to slow down, I don't think so. I don't think so. He's going to be ready to go. Okay, so you have the weapons on offense. The question is, do you have offensive linemen to protect your quarterback? Right now, the answer is absolutely not. You have two good offensive linemen in Trent Williams and Nakua, but not Nakua. Oh my God! Now I'm forgetting the offensive lineman right here live. I'm forgetting the offensive lineman's name, so I have to take a look at the Niners roster. But the rookie offensive lineman for last year, as well, who is just a standout guy. He's going to be out there starting. But aside from that, your line is looking pretty weak. That's the bottom line. The quarterback needs time to throw the football. He doesn't have it. And so you have two good offensive linemen. You need at least two more, the way I look at it. You just have to have that. Kyle Juszczyk is gone, which means one of your best blockers is gone. So is the running game going to be hurt by this? Is it going to benefit from this? I can't see how it can benefit. I'll tell you that much. I think the only way that the running game gets any better or sustains its success is with good blocking. And we're going to miss that with Juszczyk. I don't know how the Niners are going to replace him, but that's okay. We have pieces here, guys. There are players on this roster who showed last year coming in, rookies coming in that showed they can take that next step. And that's exactly what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to take that next step and step up. And we're not looking at a team that's as hurt as bad as anybody wants to think. Our special teams is a big problem. We need to talk about special teams a little bit. They were horrible, dumpster fire, trash can of a special teams. I think that gets fixed. We have a new coach. I think we're going to improve. Are they going to be the best in the league? I cannot say that, but they must be able to improve from where they were at. The pass rushing needs help, and the offensive line needs help. Now you go get Joey Bosa, and you fix the pass rushing thing. Now you need to work on the offensive line, the special teams, and possibly a corner or two. These are not hard things to overcome for the 49ers. They have money. They have draft picks. They have trade capital with their draft picks. So they can go out there and they can make some moves, guys. This is only the beginning of the year. Just remember, this is only the beginning. We're just ripping the Band-Aid off and getting rid of all the dead weight that some people out there might think were valuable that are no longer valuable. And now because of that, they can go out and fix some of the holes, okay? This team is going to be a good team. They have a very, very favorable schedule next year. So even if they drop off a tiny bit, it will not matter that much because the bottom line is that it's not last year. And remember, last year there were so many injuries, guys. It doesn't matter how good your team is if half the people are hurt all the time. They never had a full squad on defense for more than a few games, 4 or 5 games. For the most part, somebody significantly, some impact player was hurt. Somebody who can contribute significantly to the defense was always hurt. So you can't win like that. Offense, same thing. We had Kittle hurt. We had Christian McCaffrey hurt. We had Jennings hurt for a couple games. We had Purcell out for half the season, but he came back at the end of the season, played, and made a big impact for a rookie by the end of the year. He's quick. He runs his routes very cleanly. He can catch the ball. He made some big catches last year, by the way. So listen, guys, there's a lot to be excited about with this football team. It's just you have to be patient and you have to understand that these moves will come before training camp. Okay, training camp we're talking about in May, starting in May, June time frame. There's time. There's a lot of time for things to happen, for new players to come on to the Niners, some trades, some draft. The draft is going to be great. The draft is from Lambeau Field this year, from what I hear. That should be really fun to watch. But overall, just keep in mind, guys, this team is far, far from a rebuild. They made the necessity moves that they need to make. The necessary moves had to be made. They had to be. Otherwise, listen, the bottom line is this. You're either growing or you're dying, but you cannot stay in the middle. There is no third direction, as they say in Tommy Boy. You're either growing or you're dying. There ain't no third direction. It's true. So if you want to grow and continue to win, you need to cut the players that aren't contributing to the growth. That's what happened, guys. That's what happened. Bottom line. No big deal. I'm not worried about it. I'm excited to see who the Niners bring in. I'm excited to see the players that were rookies last year continue to grow and become impact players this year. I think that a lot of them will be. It's going to be a fun year to watch for the 49ers. They're going to bounce back. The injuries won't be there. We're going to get back to our winning ways. There's no doubt in my mind. So we'll keep following the Niners, guys. We're going to talk Warriors basketball tomorrow. Warriors won again last night. It is just a fun team to watch, guys. The Warriors are back on top, and they're on fire. They're on fire, guys. There's nowhere else. I don't know how else to say it. They're just playing amazing basketball. They beat the Blazers last night. Maybe that's not a big win if you think about the Blazers and how good of a team they are. But the Blazers in the last month, just keep this in mind, have played very good basketball. So the Blazers record may look bad, but take a look at how they played last month. They are a very, very tough team. So watch that podcast tomorrow, guys. I will be here 11 o'clock Pacific time talking about Golden State Warriors. Don't worry if you're a Niner fan. Excitement is still coming. They're going to be a good team next year. We're going to see them running for a playoff spot. I can almost guarantee it. And don't lose faith. Shanahan hopefully gets the play calling in order, because I was critical of Shanahan's play calling this last year. And we're going to have to see some sort of a retool on that front. Otherwise, he's going to be taking heat after this year. I can almost guarantee you that as well. So let's see what happens with that. But we got good people running the 49ers. Brock Purdy's contract continues to be a point of conversation because there are other quarterbacks that are setting the market. Remember, Geno Smith is now an Oakland Raider. He is going to get paid. I'm guessing $45 to $50 million contract is on the table. Josh Allen just got a huge contract. If the Niners don't get this contract underway now, they're going to end up paying more for Brock Purdy later. And the Niners are always late to the table with contracts like this. I can't stand it, because right now I'm not sure if Brock Purdy's holding off because he's smart and sees that other quarterbacks are setting the market, or if the Niners are stupid and just don't want to pony up the money. But either way, this contract better get done soon, because by the day, Brock Purdy's paychecks are going to go up. And what does that tell us, guys? That tells us that's less money to pay other players to come in to protect him. to protect Brock Purdy and that offensive line. Joey Bosa, defensive line, Bosa brothers attacking a quarterback. You want to see that be a reality? I do. If you want that to be a reality, you've got to get the quarterback situation under control and signed before that paycheck doesn't become 50 million, but 60 million. And from what I hear, the Niners and Brock Purdy are very far off on their contract negotiations, but that's not crazy. That happens. I hear that all the time with big time players when they're negotiating for their contract because it's still early. If you don't think Brock Purdy is going to get this thing done and the Niners aren't going to get this thing done together, you're not thinking straight. It's going to get done. It's just a matter of time. Of course, it's the beginning stages of negotiations, and they're off. They're not off by a little bit. They're off by a lot, but it will get done. And I can't imagine a world where Brock Purdy doesn't sign with the 49ers, but you know what? I kind of dare you to play for anybody else, Brock, because I'll tell you what, you had Kyle Shanahan. If nothing else, he is a quarterback guru. And you need that in your second, third, fourth year of playing football because guess what? You're about to try and sign a big contract. That means you need to show up and play big football. And there's one guy out there in the NFL that is better than the rest, and that's Kyle Shanahan about quarterbacks. If let's just play devil's advocate here and say, what if Brock Purdy didn't sign with the Niners and signed with some other football team? Well, he's taken a huge risk because those numbers, that production that he's come out with, right, over the last few years, it's his talent, but he's also got players around him that are very, very good, that are making him look good too. And he's got a coach that knows how to teach and train a quarterback. Without those things, you're really fighting an uphill battle. Anyway, I don't see any of that happening. I think that Brock Purdy and the Niners get this thing done. I think the Niners bring in Joey Bosa to play next to Nick Bosa. I'm excited about that. Let's follow that, see if it happens. If it does, I'll be going live. I think that if Bosa can stay healthy, and I mean Nick and Joey Bosa, actually, the Bosa brothers, if they get together on this Niner team and they can stay healthy, that is going to be absolutely fire. That's going to be fire, guys. It's going to be fun to watch. So let's wait. Let's see. I'm excited about it. Football season is just football negotiations and football talk is just getting started. I love it. I hate it when the football season ends, and it's so great that all the talk comes back really, really quickly. It's only a couple months before football talk starts coming back, and we start thinking about the next season. So, hey, watch me in the next one, guys. Thank you. Remember, hit the like, hit the subscribe. I'll be here talking Niner football every Monday at 11. Unfortunately, we just had a technical malfunction and my microphone wasn't working the other day. So now it is. And here we are. And I'll talk to you next Monday and we'll do another live podcast on the Niners. Tomorrow, we're going to talk Warriors because they're just playing outstanding. We will get into baseball this week. So Thursday, we will talk San Francisco Giants and Oakland A's. We're going to put them together. And then Friday, we'll see. I think the Warriors have a couple days off. So Friday, we may not talk Warriors. Let's see what happens there. I think either Friday will be Warriors or we'll talk a little bit more baseball, but I think Warriors right now because I mean, we're right in the thick of it, guys. There's only 19 games left, I believe. The Warriors are in the 6th spot. I think they can keep that spot, but it's going to be a dead heat race to the very end. So watch the podcast. Let's talk more about it. Let's watch this Warrior team do something magical again. I get a feeling like this Warrior team is on a mission now, and they are playing better than any team in the NBA right now, I think. They're playing amazing. So anyway, keep watching, guys. Thank you again. And remember, hard work beats talent when talent don't work. I'll see you in the next one.